We are going to get started. I'm going to mute everybody, and then I will unmute you when I am finished so we don't hear any background noise, okay? So I just want to first say that I am so thrilled to have all of you all join this round with me, and that you've entrusted me with your health and wellness goals. I want to remind you all that this is prep week, and so I don't want you all stressing. I know it's going to be a lot of information, but just know that we have this whole week to prep and get ready before we officially start next Monday. And so prep week, what we're going to do is just basically become familiar with the strategies that we use in the Faster Way to Fat Loss. You can practice some of them. You can do some of the prep week workouts. You can kind of practice logging your food in MyFitnessPal. You can even practice the intermittent fasting as well. And I kind of suggest that people do that if they can, just so that when Monday comes, you're ready for it. So this is we're just prepping and getting ready. So we're not officially starting until next Monday. So don't stress if you haven't made it to the grocery store. If you have things going on this week and you're not able to follow the food cycle, do not stress about those things, okay? So we're just going to practice what you can, and then we will start Monday. So our focus through prep week is just to make some progress. A few things I always recommend is that sorry, I'm trying to make this, there we go. Okay, is that you can go on and start eliminating as much processed food items as possible, and that will help you a lot. Increasing your water intake is another great thing that you can kind of start doing today. So I always recommend that you try to get half your body weight in water, or at least 100 ounces, okay? It is important to flood your body with plenty of water so that you can get rid of toxins, that you help with hydrating yourself, okay? So those are the two things that you can go on and start doing, okay? So a few things that we're going to do today is I'm going to set the expectations I have for our group in regards to my response as we go through the Faster Way to Fat Loss. Like I said, you may get a little overwhelmed with all this info, but nobody's allowed to quit, okay? Nobody. I'm not letting anybody quit this week just because it's too much information, okay? So remember that. As a couple other things I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through the program guide with you all, okay, and kind of go through that. I'm not going to go into tons of detail over every single little thing, but we will spend some time on the food cycle so that you all understand how that works, okay? A couple of things is I want to make sure that you introduce yourself to the group today. I will post a daily post every single day. And on that post for this week, I'm going to give you action items to do, and one of them today is to introduce yourself. Make sure you complete the new client assessment form if you haven't already. I sent that out in the email. If you didn't get the email from me, make sure you let me know, okay? Check your junk email first, and then if it's not there, then let me know that you didn't get it, okay? The other action item was to watch the YouTube video of how to use MyFitnessPal. And so what you're going to see is you'll see Amanda Tress in some of the videos I post this week. She is the creator of the program. I'm a certified coach through the program, so I will be using some of her things. So don't be alarmed. And she's also going to be the person you see in all the demonstrations of the exercises, okay? So just remember that. It's not me, that's her. Okay, so those were the few things that you needed to do today. So make sure you definitely introduce yourself. I want you all to become familiar with one another because we are going to be with each other for 6 weeks after this week, okay? So it's a total of 7. You can even friend each other if you want on Facebook, and some of you all may already be friends. Also, fix that a little bit. Our program hashtag is Faster Way with Terry, and I put that in our in the post today. So you can use that on all of your social media posts. That way it's easy for us to find you. Also, if you're posting pictures of your recipe or your food or recipes, then that can help some of the other girls in the group as well with some ideas of things to eat. So make sure you definitely take care of those action items today, okay? Next week, we're going to start officially with the workouts, the food cycle, and intermittent fasting. Through the Faster Way to Fat Loss, we focus on a few things. First is to eat the right macros at the right time for the right reasons, okay? And some of you all may not even know what macros are, and that's okay. Don't freak out, because there's going to be some videos on macros, how to track your macros, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it today. We want to lift heavy to develop lean, calorie-burning muscles, okay? So when you're lifting your weights, make sure you're lifting heavy enough weights. If you get to the end of your 3 sets of squats and you felt like you could have done 10 more sets, then you are not lifting heavy enough, okay? We participate in fasted cardio, HIIT workouts, Tabata workouts, sprint workouts. Now, this is the only time that it really is suggested that you do your workouts fasted, but if you can't, it's totally fine. If you have to do your workouts in the evening, then by all means, do it in the evening. It's not going to affect your results, okay? So just know that don't get hung up on it if you can. So, but if you can get your cardio workouts in fasted, then by all means, try to do that. And we want to make sure we maintain proper mindset. Mindset is so important, you all. If you've already came into this program thinking, I'm probably not going to do this very well, or I can't do this. I don't even know what fasting is or what macro tracking is. Like, if you are already telling yourself you can't, your mind, you're going to believe that, and then you're already hindering your progress. So you have to do some positive self-talk and make sure you're telling yourself each and every day you can do this. It's going to be baby steps, but every day you can do this, okay? And then lastly, you want to make sure you're getting enough sleep or rest. If you're not sleeping well enough, if you're not getting enough rest, you're not going to get the results out of this program that you want, okay? All right, so a couple of things is, do not weigh yourself through this program. You can weigh yourself this week because you're going to need your weight to set up your MyFitnessPal, okay? But then once you've weighed yourself, I don't want you back on that scale again, okay? You hear me? No scale. So if that means you have to have your husband hide it, or if you have to give it to a family member for 6 weeks, then do so. Because here's the thing, you all, that scale is not going to show you all the progress that you're making, okay? I had a client go through, and she lost like 2 pounds, but lost 11 inches, okay? So if you stepped on the scale and saw that you only lost 2 pounds, you'd probably be really upset. But then when you measure yourself and you see all those inches you lost, that is so encouraging. So weigh yourself this week and then don't get back on it. Make sure you take your before picture and do your measurements and send those to me. You'll put your measurements in on the new client assessment form. Make sure you write those down in the program guide as well. If you happen to lose them, I can send them to you, but make sure you write them down in a safe place. That way you hopefully can remember where they are. And make sure you send those before pictures to me. Another expectation I have through this program is that you touch base with me every single day. So every day I'm going to post a daily post. And through that daily post, you are going to comment and you're going to keep me updated. You're going to show me your macro screenshot and your nutrient screenshot. And I will be doing a video to show you all how to do that, so don't stress. You're also going to tell me how your workout went for the day. And if you had any win for the day, if you want to share that, please do. So I want you all focusing on those daily wins. We definitely celebrate those wins on every Friday. So just remember that. And so your win, if it's that you got all your water in for the day, let us know so we can celebrate that with you, okay? Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to share my screen with you all so we can look at the program guide. So what I wanted to do is, I'm actually in our group right now. And so I have a pinned post at the top here. Hold on. Does anybody else have a million tabs up like I do? Let me move this over here. Okay. So, and Erin, to answer your question, I don't know if you're listening, or I think you're at work. You're not going to be able to access workouts for weeks 4, 5, and 6 for a couple more weeks, okay? This is a brand new portal, and so what happens is each week this portal came out 3 weeks ago. So each week, the week is being uploaded. So next week, week 4 will be available, the week after, week 5, and the week after that, week 6, okay? So right now you have access to prep week, week 1, week 2, and week 3. All right, so if for some reason you can't open, you don't have the link to open up the portal, you can always come to our Facebook page, go to the pinned post, click on the link, and it will bring you to this. I've already logged in. Oh, okay. So it brings you to this, and you'll have to put in the password, but since I already have it up, it's already logged in. So here's your resources. Here's your guide. Here's your workouts. Here's the sample cookbook. Down here, we'll tell you how to bookmark the workout portal, and then also how to print the workouts as well. Okay, so make sure you look at that. This is an overview of our food cycle. I will upload a picture of this into our group so that you can save it on your phone. That way, if you need to refer back to it, you have that. Okay, and it'll be in our group as well, but I will be uploading that later. But for now, we're going to look at the guide. So click on Show Me the Guide, and hopefully you all maybe kind of looked at this. This is where you can put your measurements in. Make sure you send me your pictures. We do carb cycling through this program. So carb cycling is basically just a variation in your carbohydrate intake. So we'll have some low carb days, some high carb days, and then a little bit lower carb days, which we call low macro days. Carb cycling is really good for thyroid output. It helps control your hunger, and it also keeps your body guessing a little bit, okay? So it works really well, especially for those who have hit a plateau. And so this will be great for you all. I love it because I love low carb days. Let me spit that out. I feel really good on low carb days, but about 2 days in a row, I am ready for some carbs come Wednesday. So you all will love it too. We do intermittent fasting. A couple of things on the intermittent fasting. We do a 16-8 protocol. So we fast for 16 hours. We feed for 8 hours. Just because we're shortening our feeding window does not mean that we are going to be consuming less calories. We want to make sure that we're consuming what MyFitnessPal has recommended for you. If you come within a couple hundred calories, I'm fine with that. But if you're coming up 400, 500, 600 calories short all the time, then we're going to have to talk and figure out how to get those calories up, because I do not want you all damaging your thyroid, your hormones, or your metabolism. And that's what happens when you eat in a calorie deficit. So during your fasting, you're allowed to consume water, BCAAs, and I'll talk a little bit about those later this week. And herbal tea and sweet tea is fine. You can use Splenda if you need. You can have coffee. Coffee is a hot topic for a lot of my ladies because they love their coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker personally. I've tried. I'm just not. But if you like coffee and you are used to using a lot of creamer, well, we're going to have to cut back on that a little bit. But you can still use some creamer. Not the kind with the artificial stuff in it, okay? That is not what we want to be focusing on. We want to use either some like half and half creamer, a splash of almond milk. You can use nut pods. That is a non-dairy creamer. And then, of course, you can use your Splenda. You have to keep your calorie intake at 50 calories or less when in your fasting window. So you cannot consume more than 50 calories. If you do, you're going to break your fast. Also, you cannot consume any fiber, okay? So no fiber during your fasting period, okay? So that is how intermittent fasting will work. So basically how my fasting is I usually will eat until about 6:30-ish, and I will break my fast around 10:30 or 11 o'clock the next day, okay? So you find what works for you. You may find that fasting from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. the next day works for you, works best for you, or you can do 7 p.m. to 11 a.m., whatever. It doesn't matter, just what works for you, okay? All right. Then this just goes into, through prep week, some things. All right, there's our food cycle, and we're going to talk about our food cycle. So first, we're going to start with low carb days. Monday and Tuesday will be our low carb days. These are the days that we will participate in HIIT, Tabata, or sprint workouts. The purpose of these days is to deplete our glycogen stores, okay? So when we eat carbs, have glycogen. Glycogen is what is stored in our muscles for energy. And if you consume a lot of carbs, then you never get into that fat burning zone because you're constantly just burning glycogen. And so on low carb days, we consume 50 net carbs or less. Net carbs is total carbs minus total fiber, okay? And I will show you how to find that in a video as well. And so we want to be at that 50 net carbs or less. And that helps us to deplete our glycogen stores so that we start to burn triglycerides, which is our fat for fuel, okay? So we do Monday and Tuesday low carb days. We focus on consuming healthy fats like coconut oil, avocados, nuts. You can also do some olives. We eat lots of green veggies. And we try to stay away from those starchy things like your potatoes, your corn, beans. Those are things that we do not eat on low carb days, okay? We focus on those leafy veggies, okay? We want to eat when we're hungry, and we want to stop when we're about 80% full. That is the goal. Now, on your low carb days, your MyFitnessPal, your macro pie chart is not going to look like it would on a regular macro day. So what you're going to see, instead of 50%, because we're all going to be at 50% carbs, 20% protein, and 30% fats on regular and low macro days. On low carb days, your fat should be higher than your protein, okay? So if you're looking at your pie chart, your fat should be taking up more than half of your pie chart, okay? And typically that would look like 45 to 65% of your pie chart for fats. And do not be afraid to eat your fat, okay? So if your goal for fats is, say, 55 grams of fat per day, then you want it way high. You want it to be like 85 to 100 grams of fat. Your protein is going to be moderate protein, so it's going to be about what you would eat on a regular macro day. So for me, my protein is around 105 grams of protein per day, and that's what I typically try to get on a low carb day. If you go over a little bit on the protein, it's fine, but don't focus on your protein being the one that's really high and your fat not being as high, okay? Because that's not the purpose of a low carb day. We want to fill up on some good healthy fats. And I will go through all these things with you through this week as far as things to eat on low carb days, more ideas. I will post some recipes as well. So I'm not going to just give you all every bit of information today and dump it all in your lap because it's too much, okay? Just know that there's lots of information coming throughout this week. So we do our cardio on low carb days, and we'll follow our cardio with some low intensity cardio for about 15 minutes. And that low intensity cardio should be where you can actually carry on a conversation, okay? It shouldn't be high intensity. It should be low intensity. And you would be in like a fat burning zone. And then your regular macro days are going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Saturday is our leg day. So leg day, we want to focus on still consuming all the whole food nutrition from the approved foods list. And the approved foods list is very generic. It's not the be all end all. This is only what you can eat. You can eat anything, any kind of meat, any veggies, any fruits are all fair game. I always suggest that you just try to limit your processed foods as much as possible. And I give you all suggestions for things like spaghetti sauce and like some Kind bars are fine, RX bars are fine. Just look at the ingredients. The least amount of ingredients, the better, and you should be able to pronounce the ingredients, okay? So we just want to make sure that the processed foods are at a minimal amount, okay? And that we're eating things that come from the ground or have a mother or come from a tree, okay? What tree is from the ground? So never mind. So on leg day, this will be the day that you get to consume a treat if it fits your macros. You will still put your treat into MyFitnessPal and make sure that it fits in your macros, that you're going to be meeting your macro goal for the day. Some people put that treat in first and then work around it for the rest of the day with all their other foods. So whatever works for you. It's not an all-out cheat day. It's just a treat day. So you have your treat, enjoy it, and be done. Okay. Also, you want to on leg day, if you can consume that treat following your workout, that is the ideal situation, but that doesn't always happen for me because I typically do my workouts in the morning and usually don't have my treat until in the evening when we go out to eat. So, but if you're a donut person and you want your donut, then go for it. Get that workout in and then go get your donut. Okay. Okay. So leg day foods, there's some suggestions there. Again, it's all whole food nutrition. You want good healthy carbs. I love sweet potatoes and corn and beans. Quinoa is another one of my favorites. And oats, gluten-free oats are really good sources of carbs as well. And so that just talks about regular leg day. Regular macro day, like Wednesdays and Thursdays, are just like a leg day. Leg day is the only difference is that's when you're going to consume your treat. Okay, so you're still going to eat the same food guidelines for regular macro day as you would on a leg day, minus the treat. So we focus on refueling on carbs, and we focus on consuming good healthy fats and good healthy proteins. Low macro day can be a little tricky for some, and again, I will be posting a video tomorrow to show you all how to calculate all this and track this in MyFitnessPal. But we consume 25% less macros than we do on a regular macro day. So what that means is you're going to consume 25% less carbs, fats, and proteins. So if your goal for protein is 100 grams per day on a regular macro day, then on a low macro day, you're just going to take that 100 times 0.25 and then subtract that from your 100. So that would be 75 grams of protein would be your goal for a low macro day. Now, something some of my clients do is once they do these calculations for the 3 macros, for the carbs, the fats, and the proteins, they will put a little note in their phone. So they know, okay, low carb day or low macro day, I'm eating 75 grams of protein, 150 grams of carbs, and 45 grams of fat. So hopefully that will help you. That's what I have to do. Otherwise, I'm constantly having to figure it out and get my calculator out and remember, oh, what am I eating? How many grams? So just make yourself a note, write it down on a piece of paper, put it in your phone, whatever works for you. But low macro day is going to be our active recovery days. This will be the day that you can either take the day completely off or you can participate in a longer duration of cardio, meaning going for a longer walk, go for a long hike, some yoga, a bike ride. You just want to make sure it's low intensity cardio and that you're in the fat burning zone. You should be able to carry on a conversation while doing your cardio, okay? You can also go to the sauna on a low macro day as well. But we have these days on Fridays and Sundays, okay? And that just goes through strength training days and just some guidelines. On those regular macro days, you want to make sure that your fats are 30%, protein is 20%, and carbs is 50%. And then here's some more videos. These are the things I'm actually going to be posting. This one was the one you all watched today on the MyFitnessPal instructions. If you're having problems with that, please let me know. One thing I do want to tell you all is that you want to make sure that your weight loss goal is no more than 1 pound per week. If for some reason you have a lot of weight to lose, and your calorie goal, because it will base everything off of your calorie goal will be based off of your height, your weight, your age, and then your settings for your activity level and your weekly weight loss goal. So if your calorie goal is very, very high and you know that you're going to have a really hard problem reaching that, send me a private message and we will work through that, because I had to work for a couple other clients on that as well. But for, you know, those who only have, you know, who have maybe 10, 20 pounds to lose, you need to set your weight loss goal at 1 pound or less. Okay. And I can tell what your calorie goal is when you start sending me these screenshots, y'all. So if your calorie goal is like 1,200, you better be expecting me to be hearing from me through a private message, okay? Because this program, we're not going to be consuming 1,200 calories every day. Maybe on low macro day, but not any other day, okay? And that's hard to shift that mindset, because for a lot of us, that's kind of how we have, we've been taught. To lose weight, we need to eat 1,000, 1,200 calories, and we need to be doing an hour of extra cardio exercise every day. But that doesn't work, okay? So trust this process. All right, approved foods list. Like I said, this is a very generic sample approved foods list. You can have other things that aren't listed on here. You can have any kind of protein that you want, any kind of meat. I love tenderloin. I love roast, steak, any kind of fish I love, chicken, eggs, all that stuff. So it's fair game if it has a mother comes from the ground. Pantry, all those things are great. If you have questions about something, if it's approved or what my thoughts are on it, post it in our Facebook group, and I will happily answer that for you all. All fruits are fine. All veggies are fine. Herbs are good, canned goods. So there's some things listed here. I occasionally will do green beans, canned green beans. The thing with canned foods is that you have to watch the sodium intake, because there's a lot more salt added to things. So if you can find something with no salt added, then that would be the better choice. But just pay attention to the sodium content, because sodium, if you consume a lot of sodium, it will cause you to retain a lot of water and feel really bloated, and you won't be seeing as much progress, okay? And then for miscellaneous things, nuts, all nuts are good. I suggest, you know, peanuts are not my favorite source of a protein. I prefer that you all be eating like almonds, cashews, macadamia nuts, walnuts, those kinds of things. So those are great. Nut butters are good. That's not on here, but like your almond butter, cashew butter, sunflower butter, peanut butter is fine. Make sure you're just paying attention to the sugar and sodium on peanut butter. Personally, I like the Simple Truth from Kroger, no stir peanut butter. I love it. It is so good. So just you're going to have your first couple of trips to the grocery store might be taking you a little bit longer, but just make sure you're paying attention to the nutritional label, okay? Protein powder is fine. If you have a question about if you already have some, if it's a good one or not, I will let you know what I think about it. And then I always say, use what you got, but if it's not something I think is a good source of protein, I will let you know, and I'll give you some other suggestions. And then some other things I like I said, are the Kind bars, the RX bars. Some people like the Quest bars. I'm not a huge fan of them because they have sugar alcohol in them, and that is harder to digest for a lot of people, especially if you have a lot of gut health issues. I would stay away from those. But you can try them out, see what you think about them if you want to try them, but they're not my favorite, okay? I prefer something like the RX bars, but the RX bars and Kind bars are things that you would eat on regular and low macro days, not low carb days, okay? Okay, so that's just basic approved foods list. Like I said, if you have questions about something, let me know. Here is a sample meal plan for the different days. So low carb day, regular macro day, low macro day. Again, these are just sample things. We will work together on a meal plans, and I will give you all suggestions and ideas, and I will give you tons of recipes. Okay. But this is just things, if you want to look at these and get some ideas, by all means you can. Then special notes is if for anybody training for marathons or triathlons, please reach out to me or let me know in your new client assessment form, because we will need to make some adjustments to your food cycle. If you're nursing, I need to know that as well, because there will be a few adjustments that I need to make for you. And then these are just some prep week details, and we've kind of touched base on all these. The expectations I have, I've kind of told you all a few of them, but first and foremost is any and all questions need to be posted in our Facebook group page, because for one reason, somebody else has probably got the same question you do, and that way everyone can see the question and the answer, the response that I give. I know some of you all know me personally, who have my phone number. Just try to keep the text messages to a minimal if possible, and post as much as you can in our Facebook group, because that just helps the others in the group learn as well, okay? I get on Facebook about 3 times a day, first thing in the morning, afternoon, and then later in the evening, to check in on you all and see what questions or things like that you might have. So just keep that in mind when you have questions. If you know you have a question that needs to be answered pretty quickly, go on and just send me a private message, but otherwise post it in our group, okay? Let me make sure I got everything. We're coming up on our time here. Okay, so yeah, I already told you I'll keep me updated daily. Don't hop on the scale. Don't compare yourself with other people in our group. So you're going to see that some people in our group are going to have, everyone's going to have different macro goals. And that's because we're all made different. We're all different shapes. We're all different sizes. We're all different ages. And we're not going to all have the same goals. So don't compare yourself to others. You are your own unique person, and focus on your goals and yourself, okay? I want you all to stay positive. Positivity is the most important thing. You can't quit, and just because you're being overwhelmed, I'm not going to let you. I will get you through this. If you need some more hand holding than others, I'm fine with that. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm your coach. I'm here to help you. Give yourself grace. If you aren't perfect one day and you mess up, it's okay. It's just one day. You just start all over the next day, and you pick right back up, okay? And we focus on progress, not perfection. We're not going to be perfect, but we're going to keep making progress each and every day through this program. I want you all to have fun. That's the most important thing. Have fun. I want you to lift each other up, encourage one another, get to know one another, and just be there for one another, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unshare my screen here. Let's see. Stop share. Okay. And I'm going to, I think Beverly, you are the only one on here right now. Let me unmute you for any questions. Unmute. All right. So do you have any questions? Any questions, anybody? Well, here's the deal. If you have questions after watching the replay, I want you to post your questions in the comments below the replay. And I want you to post all those questions, and then I will answer them either later tonight or tomorrow. And again, any and all questions, post them in the Facebook group. Just don't forget that. And another thing, you can't quit. This is all new for most of you. And this is a new concept for many of us. And so you will be learning all the strategies, all the techniques that you need this week. I'm not going to pile it all on you all today. So be patient as I continue to post videos each and every day. I will be on live pretty much every day, helping you all with something, teaching you something, and giving you the tools that you need so that we can start out week 1 successfully, okay? And just know that most of my clients, it takes prep week and most of week 1 to really get the hang of the food cycle and tracking your macros, okay? So give yourself grace, be patient, and remember, we're working on progress, not perfection. I love you, ladies. I am so excited to get started on Monday, and you all have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.
What?